Have you ever found yourself standing in front of the fridge late at night, not because you're hungry, but because you're stressed, bored, or just empty inside? You're not alone. Emotional eating is one of the most common, yet least understood, reasons people struggle with weight gain and food cravings. It's not about willpower, it's about wiring. Our brains have been conditioned to use food not only as fuel but as emotional comfort. And the truth is, until you fix the emotional root, no diet will ever truly work. Let's start with what emotional eating really is. It's when you eat not to satisfy physical hunger, but to soothe emotions, stress, sadness, loneliness, or even happiness. You celebrate with food, you mourn with food, and you distract yourself with food. Somewhere along the way, food stopped being fuel and became therapy. Every bite of chocolate, every crunchy chip, triggers a tiny release of dopamine, the same feel-good chemical your brain releases when you accomplish something. And so, over time, your brain learns that food equals comfort. But here's the tricky part, emotional eating doesn't fix emotions. It just numbs them. You might feel better for a few minutes, but as soon as the sugar rush fades, the guilt kicks in, and the original emotion returns, often stronger than before. That's why emotional eating becomes a cycle. You eat to feel better, then feel worse for eating, then eat again to numb that guilt. It's not weakness, it's a coping mechanism your mind built to survive emotional discomfort. Now, how do you break that cycle? The first step is awareness. Most people don't even realize they're eating emotionally. They say, "I was just hungry," when in reality, they were bored or anxious. The easiest way to tell the difference between physical and emotional hunger is timing. Physical hunger builds slowly, emotional hunger hits suddenly. Physical hunger can be satisfied by almost any food, even something bland. Emotional hunger demands something specific, like ice cream, chips, or chocolate. So the next time a craving hits, pause for 60 seconds and ask yourself, what am I really hungry for right now? Maybe it's comfort. Maybe it's rest. Maybe it's connection. The more honest your answer, the faster you'll break the habit. The second step is identifying your triggers. Emotional eating doesn't just happen randomly. It's usually triggered by something: stress from work, conflict in relationships, or even fatigue. For many people, stress is the number one trigger. When you're stressed, your body releases cortisol, a hormone that increases appetite, especially for sugary or high-fat foods. Your body is literally telling you to eat comfort food because, in ancient times, eating meant survival. But today, that same survival mechanism works against you. One powerful way to interrupt that pattern is to build what psychologists call a pause ritual. Instead of reacting instantly to a craving, you pause. Drink water. Take 5 deep breaths. Go for a quick walk. The point isn't to deny yourself food, but to give your brain time to switch from emotional impulse to conscious choice. Most cravings last only a few minutes. If you can outlast that wave, you win. Another truth about emotional eating is that it's not always triggered by negative emotions. Sometimes, it's positive ones. Think about it: birthday parties, celebrations, family dinners, food is tied to joy and connection. Over time, that association becomes automatic. You start to link feeling good with eating, even when you're not hungry. The key isn't to disconnect joy from food, but to find other ways to experience joy that don't revolve around eating. Call a friend, take a walk, listen to music, journal, or meditate. You'll be amazed how your need for comfort food fades when you start comforting yourself in healthier ways. Now, let's talk about what emotional eating does to your body. When you eat under stress or sadness, your digestion slows down. Your body isn't focused on breaking down food, it's focused on dealing with your emotions. This means more bloating, more cravings, and more fat storage. Emotional eating often leads to overeating because you're eating quickly, not mindfully. You're not tasting, you're escaping. A practical solution is mindful eating, being fully present with your food. Sit down. Put away your phone. Chew slowly. Pay attention to taste, texture, and how your body feels. The goal isn't to eat less, but to reconnect with what eating actually feels like. When you slow down, you give your body time to signal fullness, which takes about 15 to 20 minutes. Most emotional eaters never reach that point because they eat too fast. Here's another overlooked factor: sleep and emotional regulation. When you're sleep deprived, your brain becomes more reactive to emotional stress, and your body produces more ghrelin, the hunger hormone, while reducing leptin, the hormone that signals fullness. That's why after a bad night's sleep, you crave carbs, sugar, and junk. Sleep doesn't just restore your energy, it stabilizes your emotions. Getting 7 to 8 hours a night is one of the simplest ways to reduce emotional cravings naturally. Another powerful strategy is to redefine your relationship with food. Instead of labeling foods as good or bad, see them as data. Every food makes your body feel a certain way. After eating something, pause and ask, how do I feel right now, energized or sluggish, clear-headed or foggy? When you start linking food with how it truly makes you feel, instead of what emotion it gives you, you regain control. And let's be honest, food is emotional. It's tied to childhood, family, culture, and comfort. You can't remove that connection entirely, and you don't need to. The goal isn't to eliminate emotional eating, it's to make sure your emotions don't control your eating. You can still enjoy your favorite foods, but from a place of choice, not reaction. If you want to take it deeper, try journaling before you eat. Write down what you're feeling in that moment. You'll start to notice patterns. Maybe you crave sweets when you're stressed, or salty snacks when you're lonely. Once you see the pattern, it loses power. Emotional eating thrives in autopilot. Awareness kills autopilot. There's also a biological side to this story. Your gut microbiome plays a huge role in cravings. When your gut bacteria are imbalanced, they send signals to your brain demanding the foods they thrive on, often sugar and processed carbs. So in a sense, it's not even you craving that donut, it's your gut bacteria asking for fuel. Fix your gut, and you'll notice your cravings naturally reduce. That means eating more fiber, fermented foods, and whole ingredients, things that feed good bacteria, not bad ones. You might be wondering, so how do I stop emotional eating completely? The truth is, you probably won't, and that's okay. Everyone eats emotionally at times. The real goal is not perfection, but progress. The difference between emotional eaters who stay stuck and those who break free is mindfulness. They recognize the pattern before it takes control. They pause, breathe, and choose differently. One of the most effective tools I've seen is something called urge surfing. When a craving hits, imagine it as a wave. Don't fight it, don't suppress it, just observe it. Watch it rise, peak, and fall. Like every emotion, it passes. The average craving lasts less than 10 minutes, but when you act on it instantly, it feels endless. Learning to surf that wave trains your brain to respond instead of react. And here's a final mindset shift. Emotional eating is not failure, it's feedback. It's your body's way of saying something deeper is missing. Maybe it's rest, maybe it's connection, maybe it's purpose. When you start listening to what your cravings are trying to tell you, they stop being enemies and start becoming teachers. At the end of the day, food is neither your problem nor your solution, it's a mirror. It reflects how you deal with stress, emotions, and self-care. Healing emotional eating is about healing your relationship with yourself. The more peace you have inside, the less you'll look for it in food. So next time you find yourself reaching for that snack when you're not really hungry, pause and ask, what am I actually craving? You might realize it's not the cookie, it's comfort, peace, or love. And that's something food will never give you, but awareness will.